Asobi!
Live.
Laugh.
Play.
Hello, beautiful gents and lady people, and welcome back to another week's review. Let's just get the excuses out of the way, shall we? Apologies for the unnatural lighting. I usually try to shoot these earlier in the day, but I've been in and out of the booth all day for projects I can't really talk about. This week I was going to talk about Cave Story Plus and its impressive little legacy, but I figured having covered pixelated titles for the past 2 weeks, I should probably break it up a bit. Look for that next week, maybe. It's going to be good. Finally, sorry for the noticeable improvement in video quality. That damn Chaseface show somehow managed to swap out our jury-rigged PS3i toy for a actually good camera. Son of a bitch. One of these days, Chase. Straight to them. No, but seriously, thank you so much for that extremely generous upgrade that we are already putting to use to better the quality of our content.
Rainbow Six Vegas 2, besides being a mouthful to repeat, is a squad-based tactical/stealth shooter like most games in the Rainbow Six subdomain of the overarching Tom Clancy universe. This was my first real experience with a Clancy game. Years before, I tried to play other titles like the original Ghost Recon, but was apparently never very good at those hyper-realistic games that remind you just how fragile human life really is.
You kids with your shields and your damn airstrikes! Why, back in my day!
I first picked up the game for PS3 years ago when it was discounted and I was working the cell phone counter at Walmart.
Those were darker times.
Ever since Metal Gear Solid, I've always had a taste for stealth action games. No matter how bad I am at sneaking, or whether or not stealth is even a factor in a game, I always try it. But what really caught my eye with this one was the experience system, where you were rewarded for the various ways you could carry out a kill, whether it be shooting someone through a thin wall, having a squad mate cover you, or taking out a group of terrorists with an explosive. Turned out the experience actually just advanced you through ranks, which in turn unlocked new equipment, rather than upping any pertinent stats. I guess I was secretly hoping for a more customizable character that improved as you advanced through the game.
Apparently what I wanted to play was Fallout 3, a game I didn't discover for at least another year.
Still, the weapon and equipment choices are fairly broad and did more than just change your appearance. Your armor configuration could allow you to take a couple more bullets at the cost of mobility. The game's story places you in the shoes of grizzled anti-terrorist operator Bishop, voiced by Ubisoft staple Elaine Guillem. Unless your character is female, then it's Felicia Schulman.
I had to look that up. I've never understood why in games where you can make your own character, guys will make a female character. Does that mean you secretly wish you were a girl, or you're just ogling your character? Yeah, I don't get it. I always make a character that's similar to myself. For immersion. I'm kind of a narcissist.
See, I even scanned my face on this guy. Look, Ma, I made the SWAT team! So anyway, yeah, you're a Bishop. Funnily enough, if you play co-op, your partner's character is referred to in-game as Knight.
It's a chess joke. Like Bishop to Knight 7. I have no idea what that means.
In the prologue, you and your squad prepare to intervene in a hostage negotiation when your overconfident subordinate Gabriel Novak literally jumps the gun, costing the life of the negotiator. Novak sorta gets what's coming to him and accuses you and the team of attempting to sentence him to death for his mistake. At the time, I hadn't realized, but Novak was voiced by Elias Tefexis. It wasn't until Deus Ex Human Revolution, also a Ubisoft game, that I recognized and became a pretty big fan of Mr. Tefexis.
People always tell me we sound alike. I never asked for this.
After the prologue, a terrorist situation begins brewing in Vegas and you are once again tasked to quell it. As you follow this rabbit hole, however, the true villain is actually closer and more familiar to Bishop than the ensuing events would have you believe. But hey, you want spoilers, you can go play the game. Or Google or YouTube them, or whatever the hell it is you kids are calling it nowadays. To most jaded-ass gamers,
you know, I think I complain a bit too much about people's negative opinions, which they have every right to, and I'm just going to try and curb that right here.
I hear a lot of gamers complain about the modern shooter genre, citing things like cookie-cutter gameplay, predictable storylines, and too many stereotypical Duke Nukem-esque leading males. I confess, I've read a few Tom Clancy books myself.
What? I'm a guy. I like football and porno, books about war. I've got an average house, And a nice hardwood floor.
I, for one, still enjoy the mindless fun of a simple shooter game, or the cinematic ride that a more complex one might take me on. And I myself am known to have sort of a Duke voice, so I can sympathize, and I'm glad for any game that's willing to employ my archetype. And yes, I actually enjoy tales of subterfuge, conspiracy, and intrigue, no matter how many different settings I've heard it in. I'm a walking encyclopedia of Metal Gear lore. I've read more about Splinter Cell than I've played, and I've watched playthroughs of all the recent Call of Duty games.
Quit looking at me like that. You know you wanted some of that Kevin Spacey action too. Don't judge me. Oh, and Troy Baker.
The game was made in Unreal Engine 3, with Havoc physics and decent graphics and sound design for the time. The game sported a well-designed cover system, multiple routes and entrances to rooms and other situations, allowing you to take the strategy into your own hands rather than just being the rail shooter you may have been expecting. The game also featured a fun multiplayer mode called Terrorist Hunt, which pit 1 to 4 players against up to 40 AI terrorists scattered around the chosen map. My brother-in-law Lucky and I played a lot of this when we were roommates, which I feel was one of the key factors that made this game so memorable for me. He wasn't my in-law at the time. This was years prior to him marrying into the family.
His name's not really Lucky either. Am I oversharing? I feel like I'm oversharing.
Vegas 2 overall was pretty well received, averaging scores of about 80 out of 100 with most gaming outlets. The PS3 version suffered from some frame stuttering and textures occasionally failing to load after extended play, and many players felt as a sequel to Rainbow Six Vegas, the game didn't bring much to the table to set the two apart. This included, you knew I was going to get to this, reusing a few tracks from the first game's soundtrack. Maybe reusing is the wrong word in this case. Austrian film and game composer Paul Haslinger.
Why do I keep prefacing with their ethnicity? Why would that even matter?
Normal, awesome, equal human being Paul Haslinger may have revisited a few tracks from his previous work in the series, but it's a high-quality work of art that brings an explosive, sometimes electronic, modern feeling of tension and confrontation, and remains to this day one of my favorite sets from Mr. Haslinger.
Now I keep prefacing everything with Mr. God damn it! That's all I can think of to cover for now. Sorry. Hey, have you gotten Vound yet? I know I've been slacking on the Vound ads. It's hard enough keeping people entertained about my taste in games. I'll bring it back around, eventually. In the meantime, remember, hashtag live, laugh, play.
Thanks again for watching the review, and especially for supporting Asobi with your time. Here's some other really cool stuff you should check out. The Chase Face Show is one of those channels that's a big inspiration for us. Outside of this new media business, Chase and I have been breathing life into characters in games and animations for a few years now. He's a really cool guy with a really cool channel, and I'm proud to call him my friend. Thanks again for the new camera, brother. We'll try not to grow too far out of your shadow. Chase also hooked me up with a chance to do some narration for another channel you may have heard of called Splash Wave, where I talk about music from the Super Nintendo era and what made it so memorable. Also, if you happen to like the awkward combination of games and my voice, you should totally check out Black Hole, which just came out on Steam. I had the pleasure of serving in it as Captain Jetson, and hope to have some footage up for you soon. But in the meantime, you can check out the trailer here, and I made sure to put a link to the Steam store page in this video's description. If you're not so much looking to game, but want to watch more videos made from games that also have my voice, you should check out this awesome Arma 2 machinima called Inferno Sky. It's produced a lot like an anime, if, you know, you're into that sort of thing. In it, I voice Styx, who makes his debut in episode 2. Fun fact, I actually recorded all 3 seasons as Styx and Erebus, but due to some unfortunate technical difficulties, the director lost all my audio as Erebus, and by the time I got it back to him, he'd already recast the part to Jesse Lowther. Fortunately for me, Jesse Lowther is fucking awesome. I first worked with him in Star Wars Crusade of the Rebellion, which you can also find in the description. I'm gonna stop talking now, because this shameless self-promotion is getting really out of hand! But it's okay, because Joey said I could do it, and he's the boss! Okay, thank you, bye!